concerning the sexual difference. Because my position on this point is that sexual difference is only exposed in love, finally. That is, there is not at all an empirical disposition. Naturally, it is an empirical disposition, but it's not the fact is not very important, finally. And the difference between the two positions is not discernible in all the sequence that I describe. Because the difference between the two positions is their different relationship to love itself. That is my proposition. And so, love is in fact the production of truth concerning the sexual difference, because the two positions take their final names. And in my talk today, the difference between man and woman is not a fact, because this difference is constructed inside the process of love itself. And so when I name masculine position or feminine position, two different positions in relationship to the process of love. And it is why there is no direct relationship between that sort of sexual position, man and woman, and the empirical and biological existence of two different sexual bodies. But it's really the construction of the signification of the two different positions is another problem. We have to expose love as a progressive construction of two different positions.
Okay, Maria, let me first start with Katie.
So clearly things like queer theory and feminism and gender theory they like to talk about these things, but more calling it politics than love. Section C and D on here, I'm going to use feminism here because man and woman are on this page. But D, kind of speaking to what feminist politics first started about when you talk about pre-feminist logic, this idea of the virgin whore, the sacred, and the monster woman. And then C, seeming more about our sort of third wave feminism or postmodern gender theory, in which, like you said, it's either seems completely certain what the S is for man, woman, what the feminine, what the masculine is, or on the other side, the completely egalitarian, no difference at all. What in the States people know Hillary Clinton failed at on both sides completely. So my question is this, do you consider the arena of the two in political love to be not necessarily the end of, but somehow faithfully beyond both feminism or queer politics, gender politics, and with political love beyond, I guess the arena of the two beyond, faithfully beyond feminism and political love beyond feminist politics.
So you can resume the question because it's difficult for me to understand.
Yeah, I think she is asking what role political love, you have an assumption that he tried, or that you can apply what he said to political love. But this assumption is wrong, because in his answer to Slavoj, he just said it's not about political love. But if you want to say it's right, then you have to answer.
Is there a possible reality of something like a political war?
No, political love. Yeah. And that is political love, and is as beyond feminism, for example, is that a step further, out of this determination.
Yes, but I think there exist naturally political questions which are in relationship first to the question of sexual difference, of position, and so which are also in relationship to the context of the development of love. And I say something like that because if you are in a society where there is a domination of the segregative position, naturally there is some very important effects concerning love itself. So I don't say that there is no relationship at all between love and politics, because politics can change the dominant disposition of sexual position, naturally. And it is why I was giving the example of a traditional conception of femininity, because this traditional or segregative conception is something which finally provokes a transformation or a displacement of the very definition of love by itself. So the universality of love is, as all forms of universality, also in relationship to particular disposition of society, which are political disposition finally. So there is naturally a relationship. And concerning the point, for example, of Slavoj, when he's saying that the excision, symbolic aureole, of the woman position is not only the dialectics of oppression of women and imaginary elevation or sacralization of women, but can be also conception concerning the true sexual connection, the possibility of sexual connection. I agree with him too. Because, in fact, certainly it's because there is a common term, you, in the two sides, that there is something like a non-connection. And there is always the possibility to say that if we exceed one term, you have something like a possibility of connection. So we return to Aristophanes' position, that finally, without you, feminine is the complementary position of the masculine. I agree completely. And all that to say that there are practices, social delimitation, determination of what is a woman and what is a man, which affects profoundly the process of love itself in sort of society. And we can see, for example, in the classical theater, the classical French theater of 17th century, a fundamental problem is the relationship between love, free love, love as the consequences of an encounter, and social rules concerning the different sexual positions. And the contradiction between the two is the matter of practically all comedies in the classical theater, from the Greeks to today. And so I agree with you, finally, there is interplay between truth procedure of love and truth procedure of politics, but I think it's a relationship which is not a direct relationship. We cannot speak of something like the direct presence of love in political field, but there is naturally transformation of the conditions of love after some political transformation. And this is why, naturally, the question of love was present inside the feminist movement.
Jake?
So you talked about like the labor of love.
Maybe you can stand up so we can...
Oh, okay. You talk about the labor of love, and I was just wondering if in the arena of the two, does that mean that love is the master?
Don't ask me. Love is the master. What is that? Who's the slave?
Est-ce que ça veut dire que l'amour est le maître et on travaille pour l'amour?
No, it's a process of love, which is in fact, yes, because I say that because we have too much representation of love as a pure ecstasy, if you want, and we know that is not something like that. Naturally, there is extraordinary moments in love. You know that. You know that without love, existence is not really a joy.